up. It was something else. There was one woman that felt like a man. She wanted to come in. What are we waiting for?
We are streaming now, so we'll tell you when to start. We just started streaming.
Oh, okay.
He had to do some last minute adjustments. He got on stage late.
Of course. Blame it on me. Hey, Cheryl. How are you?
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Happy. You right?
Yeah, forklift.
Oh, forklift. Good morning. Welcome to church. I'm Jesse Peterson. Thank you for being with me. You can get involved by going to our YouTube chat line, and I will take your questions and comments. And good morning again to everybody here. Good morning. All right. First, I want to say thank you all for last night men's conference. To the men and women, those who didn't make it and helped, able to help sponsor it. Thank you so much. It was absolutely amazing, mind-blowing. Hola, si, senor. Mamma mia, hold your wallet. It was amazing, so thank you so much. And thank you all you guys for showing up, too. That was amazing. Did you have fun last night?
Yeah.
That was something else, huh? And happy Father's Day to everybody. I realized this morning, next time we may have to do more hours or something because we had to rush through it, the panel and things like that. I didn't get to half of what I wanted to discuss during the panel discussion, but it was absolutely mind-blowing. Also with Owen Benjamin, I have a better impression of him now, rather than what people have been saying about him. I kind of know for myself now. That's why it's best to go to the person rather than just hearsay about him, because people have hidden agendas and they're not going to tell the truth. All right? I do want to say, and then I'll take your questions and comments, that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard what God has in store for you. I had not one idea that what Bond would become, my nonprofit organization, 29 years ago when we first started. I had no idea, not one clue. And so everything, all these years has been absolutely surprising and amazing. And I want to make that point because I want all of you to know that inside of you is another reality, the real reality. And that inside of you is His plan for you. And if you learn to live from within rather than from without, you're going to be amazed at what He has laid out for you. But if you live from without, you're going to be suffering and hustling through life, trying to get and do what you think that you want. And I really want to encourage you to start looking from within and stop listening to the outer world, because they have no idea what they're doing. And everything they do is a setup. It is to take life rather than to give life. But if you live as an individual from within, it's so amazing. There are really no words to express what it's like to live as a son or a daughter of God. It's no stress, it's freedom, it's no opinion. Because one thing, living as a son or a daughter of God, you are not allowed to have any opinion about anything. Can you imagine living life without an opinion? But you can live that way. You can have the attitude of wait and see and just observe and just live your life and do what's in front of you. And life is easy that way too. And you don't get into all this mess that people get into when they think they're creating their own life. And we really, really don't know what we want in life. We don't know. But everything we need and much more than what we want will come out of you if you live from within. And I'm a witness to that. Believe me, I have no idea that nothing that has happened through Bond would have come about. I remember when I first started, I had a board. Well, I still have one, but I created a board to help me do the things I needed done. And they kept asking me, what is your 5-year plan? You know, like they would meet, and they're like, okay, because I had lawyers and all kind of people on my board, intellectuals. And they would be like, well, what is your 5-year plan? And I'm like, 5-year plan? I don't know what a 5-year plan. How do I know what 5 years is going to bring when I can't even figure out what today is going to bring? I could never come up with a 5-year plan, and I still don't. And I now know that I don't have to. It's so much better not. How do you sit down and do a 5-year plan? You know, I noticed that with some business people, when they want to start a business, the first thing that the bank asks for is a layout plan or something, right? What's your 5-year plan so they can know how much money to loan you, right? It doesn't make sense because most people don't make it past 3 years. So how can you do a 5-year plan? And so I want you to know that. You've been lied to. You got to come out of the intellect and operate from the intellect of God. It's greater than the intellect of Satan. Because you're serving one or the other one for sure. Either Satan or God. You're not on your own. And I know people like to think it. Before I get to you, the ladies of Bond did an excellent job last night on putting those auctioneer things together, those packets that you got, and also maintaining the whatever they did out there in front. It was whatever, but it was excellent. Thank you, ladies. I absolutely appreciate it. It was amazing. It was so good that it was like a white event. I'm like, am I at the right event? The ladies went out of the way to make that happen, so thank you so much. So, any questions? A lot of guys are here from last night, the ladies, so right here with the mic.
Hey, how's it going, Desi?
Hey, man, how you?
Great.
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I.
Humpback,
Humpback,
I.
humpback, I. That's Mississippi. Yes, sir.
So my question is just, why are certain people more susceptible to certain temptations than other people? For example, like, why does Satan tempt certain people with, alcoholism, and other people, they look at that and they're like, I could never struggle with that, but I struggle with something else.
Right.
And if Satan's goal is to create as much chaos as possible, why doesn't he tempt everyone to just go out and just murder everybody? Because wouldn't that be the most chaos possible? So, like, why does he tempt certain people with certain things and it works, and he tempts other people with the same thing and it doesn't work, but something else would
It's all depending on what your trauma is. Like if you were traumatized by parents who were alcoholics or angry, then that's what you're going to be attracted to. He'll use that against you. It all depends on what you hate. If you hate your parents because they murdered, then they'll kill you. Then you become a killer. Or if you judge the murderer, you may see it on TV or hear about it. You know how last night they talked about should we hate the pedophiles, right?
Right.
And there's this idea that we should hate the pedophile, right? But no, you don't. You don't hate them because if you hate them, you become like them. And then you have to realize that the pedophile been traumatized as well. Maybe someone did it to him or her. And so they become like what they hate. But all suffering is the same. Just because someone look like they're not suffering as much because they don't drink, believe me, whatever they're into, they're taking hell from it.
Right.
It's all the same. Satan's not like fair in his suffering. He doesn't make one person suffer less and make another one suffer more. He treats them all the same. It just depends on how angry you are and, if you want to overcome. But they all suffer the same.
Okay.
All pain, just like all goodness is the same, all pain is the same, especially in that fallen state.
Yeah.
There are people who smoke pot that wish that they were drinking rather than smoking pot.
Right.
You know, it's just that it all depends on what you're into.
Okay.
But it has a lot to do with the trauma, whoever caused you to become traumatized.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. What's your suffering?
Food is one of them.
Food? You like food?
I love desserts, man.
Oh, you do? You don't look like it. You're so skinny.
Well, I work
Well-
out, you know, I run and stuff, you know.
You what?
I run and stuff, work out, so
Oh,
I
I
can
see.
eat more.
But you love sweets.
Yeah, I love sweets.
And
So
did your parents love sweets too?
my mom does, yeah,
Oh,
so that
yeah.
would make sense. But
Like
last night I
Like
was...
mama likes none.
Yeah. Last night at the event, I was asking everybody for their desserts that didn't want it.
Oh, yeah?
So,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I would recommend you work on getting over that because as you get older, it's going to affect your body.
right,
You're going to have sugar diabetes or high blood pressure or something.
Right.
So just be aware of it. It'll fade away.
Right.
Not a big deal.
right.
But you got an easy one. Why is Satan so easy on you? I wish I had that one.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for coming too, all the way from Mississippi.
Oh, yeah. It's been fantastic.
All right. Anybody else? Right here.
Good morning. Happy
Morning.
Father's Day to everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
I have a lot of things to talk about. So,
Were you there last night?
yeah.
Right on.
Have you heard of Adam and Eve products?
Products?
Yeah.
No.
They're adult toys. You know.
Oh, keep
wanna-
it clean.
Yeah. I was
You're
up.
not at the men's conference.
I was up watching TV late one night, and it was like one of those infomercial kind of thing programs.
Oh, okay.
So I guess to make it seem okay, they slapped that name on it. You know, Adam and Eve.
Right, of course.
You know.
But Satan is doing what you got to realize, Satan is doing what Satan is supposed to do.
Deceive you.
He's doing his job. So he's working through people to deceive you in order to destroy you.
Yeah.
So don't be mad at Satan for doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
The point is, when will you serve good and allow it to work through you? That's the whole issue.
Okay. My next thing is, I never grew up on the Bible or religion. My parents didn't push that on us.
Right.
They just said, do what you want to do and just do right. I want to know, how is it that I can understand the truth, not being raised on that?
That's why you can't understand, because you have not been taught the truth. One of the worst things that parents have done to their children is have taught them the truth. And so now they base their lives based on what they've been taught. This is right, this is wrong, this is good, and this is evil. So when you're stuck in something like eating sweets, right away Satan will tell you, oh no, that's evil, that's wrong. And now you judge yourself, and so he set you up so you can eat more sweets in order to destroy you. But if he had never been told sweets are wrong, he would discover it on his own, and he would just fall away from it. So, because if he ate it, he wouldn't feel bad about it. And then that light would cause him to stop doing it without judging himself.
And
so that was good that they did not teach you that stuff. Parents are not supposed to teach you this stuff. They're supposed to be examples of it. Like Christ was our example, so that we can look at him and see the right way to go. And likewise, we are supposed to be it. And then by being it, then you can live it. And the kids will see the right way to go.
So if I wanted to read the Bible,
You can read it
where do I start? 'Cause there's
wherever you want to.
Any
Just open it up and read it.
any type of Bible, you know, because there's so many of them. Which one is the tried and true one?
I would read the Christian Bible,
Christian.
not the Ka'ala U'aba Bible. I recommend the Christian Bible.
Okay.
And then don't have a plan, just open up and read it. It's something else where you just open up, read what you want, put it away.
Okay.
And then Satan's trying to interpret it for you. Let that pass. Doubt every thought about
Just
it.
observe it.
Because Satan will definitely interpret the Bible for you.
Okay.
He really will. And if people think that's from God, it's not.
Okay. And last but not least,
So did you read the Bible before you found out about the Adam and Eve toys?
No, I was just watching TV one day. I'm familiar with the Adam and Eve
okay.
story. I just don't know.
And so you found the toys and then you read the Bible. You're like, wow, let me read the Bible after that.
My last one is, I have, I like a lot of, I'm really into music.
Right.
And mostly like punk rock and metal. And I hear the words, you know, like what they're talking about.
Right.
But I'm more into the music. Should I go away from that? Or, but
Yeah.
I'm not listening for the message. I
But
listen,
you're hearing the words though, and they will seduce you.
but I don't let
Make
it,
your own punk rock.
yeah.
Make some good punk rock.
But I don't let the words get to me. I just let them bounce.
They'll
right
get
off.
into you, you don't realize it. Really, they are getting to you.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people say, oh, I ate some ice cream. I just had a little bit, and it didn't get to me. And then I found myself eating a gallon. It's getting to you.
Yeah.
It really is getting to you. That's why you're being seduced and don't even realize it.
Okay.
So I would recommend you cut it out, do what you want, suffer and die.
Yeah.
But I recommend you get away from it.
Okay.
Make your own music. Can't you make good punk rock music?
Yeah, I know how to play.
Yeah. Make your own stuff.
Okay. Cool.
See, what we have to do is we are to overcome evil with good, right? And so when they throw you off the internet, then you have to make your own internet. It's really an opportunity to create your own stuff. It's not an opportunity to get deeper into it. And don't be seduced by it.
Okay.
All right?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, man. Good questions. Right here. Esteban, come here with your mic. Oh, okay.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey, man, how you?
Good.
Where you from?
No, man, it's good.
Where?
San Diego.
Right on. G is from San Diego.
Yeah, we talked last night
Oh, yeah.
after the conference.
All right. Yes, sir.
So just to comment on the music, I got into 80s hair metal when I was about 14, 15.
Yeah.
And I still to this day, I know that I like the music of it. You know, I like playing guitar, and I can't find any other music that has the same just melodic power and quality of that. But I've been thinking about what the lyrics are of 80s hair metal, and it's all about trying to get women and being sad about not having women and trying to get women to have sex with them. And I thought about it, like you said, you don't think it's affecting you,
Right.
but it's all that you're hearing all the time. And the fact that you're not conscious of it is even worse.
Yeah.
It's like you think it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I'll just comment, my parents watch CNN, my dad specifically, and I tell him, you got to stop watching that stuff. And he goes, I know it's garbage, but I just watch it. I say, no. You don't get how much it's brainwashing you.
That's right.
And you think you're watching it because it's just entertainment, and you're kind of laughing at how stupid they look. But it was funny. I Skyped my parents a couple weekends ago, and I was talking to my mom, and she walked into the family room to charge her phone, and I saw Chris Como on the TV.
Yeah.
And I'd asked my dad a couple weeks earlier, do you watch that guy? He goes, no, I don't watch him. And I go in and it's there.
Yeah.
So I think I said, I knew it. I knew you were watching that guy.
Yeah.
So if you let those things just kind of seep in, they will start to affect you in ways that, you know, you can realize if you think hard enough about it. But it's not worth letting them seep in.
That's right. Because what happens when you first do it, you say, oh, that was nothing. You didn't feel anything from that, right? And so you don't really feel anything from it. And then you go again and say to yourself, oh, one more time. But you're thinking you're saying one more time. It didn't bother me the first time. Let me do it again. So you do it a second time, not as bad. And then the third time comes around, and he's like, oh, you know, just one more time. And then you find that he got you. But not because most people are not in that fallen state, you're not conscious enough to be aware of what's really happening. And so that's what's going on. So I recommend you avoid it as much as possible. But if you got to watch it to overcome it, don't hate it. Just watch what you're watching rather than getting all into it. You know, don't turn it on and be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And just watch it. It'll fall away. We're going to have a rapper on in my father's state. We're going to tape a new episode on Tuesday. And he's a really decent guy, but he have dirty rap. And so I'm like, why do you have dirty rap? And he's like, well, that's what the ladies like. I said, no, they don't. He is a millennial, right? And so they forgot or don't know that good rap music sells better than bad rap music, because with good rap music, you can let your kids hear it, you can play it anywhere, anytime. You don't have to worry about it. But this bad rap, the parents got to be careful about the kids getting it. But they have forgotten that good rap music sells. But the lyrics need to be decent.
No rap is good.
That's right. Rap crap. Yeah. But we got to set a better example. And I know all of you are starting to do it, so that's good. Yes, ma'am. You had fun last night?
Oh, yeah.
It was amazing, huh?
It was amazing.
Oh, amazing. The comedian guy was funny, too.
Yeah.
What's his name? Kayvon, yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I was just going to say about the music. A friend of a friend is a songwriter, and she's been, trying to make it in Hollywood and all this stuff. And she said she literally was going to give up because you cannot sell a love song to save your life. They don't want positive music.
Right.
The only thing that they
That's
will
right.
allow is the bad lyrics, the bad message, overly sexualized. And she was, that's
Good.
what they want.
But
So
you can
it's
do
a-
your own thing. You can start your own production, your own recording studio. Those people,
Yeah.
they are not the only one that's smart.
Yeah,
And they use their stuff to seduce you
that's so
for
true.
their own personal gain.
Yeah, but it's definitely like a concerted effort to get into our brains and like,
Absolutely.
change our values.
And you understand that's what they're supposed to do, right?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. So that's why you can't yell at them and tell them to stop,
okay.
because they're doing what they're supposed to do. Satan is their daddy. The thing about it, we have to be an example and do our own thing, and then disagree with them, stand up to them, but do your own thing, and some of them will come around.
Okay.
They just don't have another choice, because all we're doing is yelling at them, but not creating our own stuff. I found out that the millennial guys and ladies are very smart. They're very, very talented people. Half of them are very talented, but the rest is messed up. They need Jesus on the other half. And they're working on that. They're doing that, all right? Right here, then there. Yes, sir.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Yeah. You're right about the 5-year plan, because I don't know anybody that can see that far ahead.
Right.
No, you can't see. It's like, what's the purpose of knowing true north?
So what?
What's the purpose of knowing true north? That's just a Zen philosophy thing.
Oh, okay.
I think we discussed about the other day, because I'm a professional martial artist, and I used to study Zen philosophy and meditation. And a lot what you were saying is true in terms of, we said that God's voice is a voiceless voice, or is it, as I said to you last night, it's an inner knowing.
Yes.
And it
Yeah.
comes down here. In the philosophy of China, in most Asian, they talk about the chi or the ki, which is, I think this is where Christ or God exists, right there, or the Holy Spirit.
It says it in the Bible too, but the Christian won't teach it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's located in the soul of the belly.
It is.
Even in the Bible says that my people should know me, my children should know me by my voice, and that my voice is a voiceless voice. And yet the people listen to the voice in their head and say that's God. It's the darndest thing I ever seen.
Yeah,
They
but-
won't teach you what's really there.
Yeah, but it made sense because I started doing the silent prayer, and it varies in terms of meditation. Sometimes I would try for, like I took your suggestion, 5 minutes, but usually it's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get up early in the morning because I'm retired now from the phone company, so I got a lot of time in my hand.
Amazing.
So I get up at 4:30 in the morning.
Yes.
I would sometimes it's 15 minutes, sometimes a half hour, sometimes an hour.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just pass out and it's like clouds. When you look at the clouds, and the clouds I always represent the clouds as the mind. and it's passing through.
Yeah.
The thoughts are passing through, and then when it's gone, you see the clear blue sky, which is represent, I guess, maybe clarity or
Amazing.
inner. I don't want to say knowledge, because like you're saying before about knowledge, it's about knowing about God, but not really knowing who the Father really is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making much sense these days.
It's interesting that there are a lot of people that know about God, but yet their lives are all lonely, depressed, suicidal thoughts, on antidepressant medication, on pot, and they won't say, well, if I know God, why am I all messed up inside, you know? And they won't even question it, and that's why they don't get any solution to it, too.
One more thing, I suffer from bipolar, and my pastor does the same thing that you're doing. He walks the walk and talks the talk in Jersey, New York.
Right.
He picks up the homeless people, and he feeds them all. He
Not
feeds
me.
like about 30. Yeah, he feeds them,
You ain't
but
catch me picking
he
up the
ministers
homeless.
to them. But he
The
only.
homeless are too bad. Those
Well-
people are dangerous.
Well, no, some of them, they're pretty selective who they pick. Oh, yeah. Well,
No, they
so
have a
far,
new
that's
set
what
of
I've seen.
homeless.
That's what I've observed so far.
Don't pick them up.
Well, he picks them up.
No, tell your pastor
He
no.
well, I'll tell him. He may disagree with you, but, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as the bipolar.
You still
and
have it?
No, I don't have it anymore, because what you were saying in my past about bipolar, I think it's more what happens in certain times in your event in your life that causes it naturally. And then the psychiatrist dumbs you down with drugs and everything.
Yeah.
So it took time for me to do it, because I didn't take didn't get off the medication, because I was taking Seroquel to go to sleep. And I used to say to the Lord, I need the sweet sleep that I used to have as a child. I wasn't getting that, because
Yeah.
when you get up in the morning after taking all that stuff, you know. And I asked my psychiatrist just if I could take one, because I was taking 150 milligrams. But I said, well, try it on one for the weekend. I mean, I slept good, but I still wanted to get off. And also the other thing, lithium.
Are you on anything now?
I'm not. I haven't been on it for
Good.
3 months.
Right on.
And because I trust in God.
Yeah.
And what you were saying about that, and what my pastor also reaffirmed about that. So I took a leap of faith, because I trust in the Father, because He knows everything about me. Like in
Yeah.
Psalms 39, He knew you when you were in your mother's
Yeah.
womb. And He already, the plans
That's why
were
you're
already
not
set.
supposed to kill the children in the womb.
No.
Another reason not to.
That's exactly what he
Yeah.
was saying, that he knew us all before we were in the,
Yeah.
no eyes, no ears, no nose. 5 billion years ago, there was none of that.
I'm going to have to move on.
No, go ahead.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
man. I appreciate that. But don't pick up the homeless.
I don't pick them up. I know he does. That's
What-
his problem.
When God said feed the poor, He wasn't talking about this group. He was talking about the group back then when they were riding donkeys. All right? This homeless people are dangerous. And they'll cuss you out. And if you don't give them money, they'll get mad at you. You're like, all right, let's go to McDonald's and get a sandwich. No, I want the money. Yeah, so talk to your pastor. Yes, sir. And then I come here.
This was just like something small, but like when you're like praying to like God, right?
Right.
And you know how prayer is like a direct message or anything like that. The Bible says, right? Prayer is
Right.
like a direct message to God. When you're like praying to God to like say, come into my heart, stop me from like watching like pornography, stop me from doing this, stop from doing that. Moment in time, eventually all that stops. But how do I know that's not me? Like that's like controlling that stop, like instead of like it being from God. Exactly. Like what if I wanted to like tell my brother like all you have to do is just pray and God will like do the rest. How would he tell me, like, how do I know that's not just me and not God?
Well, that's
Like
a
doing
good question, man. Really good question. The man in the red sweater want to respond first, and then I'll tell you.
Yes.
Jeremiah, give him your mic. He can't wait to ask. So he want to know, is he telling himself to stop, and how would he tell his brother, someone who caught up in that?
I'm not sure. I was hoping you would have an answer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really not sure.
Oh, you're not sure?
No.
How about the guy next to you?
What?
Like what? How would you tell someone to stop doing You know, you go to God, oh, God, please help me. I'm an alcoholic, drug addict, sex addict, I want to stop. And then you stop. What do you say to someone else about that? Are you telling yourself to stop?
Willpower, I believe. You gotta have willpower, strong willpower.
Willpower?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There is no I can't, there is I don't want to. That's the way I see it, because everybody can do anything, they just don't want to.
Okay. The young lady, Cheryl, want to tell him. Cheryl, Mama tell him how to stop. Cheryl, when you are suffering over something and you want to get over it and you're like, oh Lord, help me, I want to stop, and you stop. Is that you or is that God, and how do you tell someone else?
I don't know how you would know it's you or God. I just think when you do stuff you don't want to do, like you say, don't judge yourself. And then it kind of falls away. You kind of don't think about it anymore.
Are you comfortable on the couch right now?
It's a little
You
weird.
all lean back.
Okay. It's
Never let a black person sit on the couch at church. She all laid back and got a pillow on her lap.
like, I hope I don't start snoring, but no,
Say
I just
what?
think don't judge yourself.
Esteban, what do you say? And then I'll tell you. I mean, I put my little 2 cents.
I'm not sure. I would say like if you don't know, then like don't do anything. Don't think about it.
Okay?
Yeah, that you don't know for sure, not to do anything.
Number one, never, ever, 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 Mama Mia, never tell someone to stop. They cannot stop.
Right.
They absolutely can't stop. But I will have them to get to know themselves and look at what's going on inside. Look at that anger. Because once you overcome that, all that stuff starts to fall away. I would say don't judge yourself about it, as Cheryl or someone just said. Don't judge yourself, because you really can't stop yourself. And so you may stop one thing may stop for a minute, but you reach out for something else. You know, you may not be looking at the porn stuff, but you find something else and something else. And so when I counsel with people, I don't tell them, well, stop being an alcoholic, stop being this or that. But once they overcome that anger and they are drawn back into the kingdom of God, back to the Father, all that stuff eventually fall away. Just don't have an opinion about it. Stop hating yourself. Stop judging it. And just know you can't overcome it.
So would you say like it's like you would just have to believe and have faith that it's coming from God of why that urge stopped?
No, when you overcome the fallen state, return to the Father, you automatically have faith in Him, and without even thinking about it, life is changing. You can't make yourself believe. And you hear a lot of people, just believe. You can't even make yourself believe. You can't make yourself believe in Jesus. You know, you make yourself believe about Him because you're deceived. All by ourselves, we can do nothing. But we have to just see that we are wrong for being angry, for judging. And all that believing in Jesus, all that will come to play once you're born again.
Right.
You just naturally have faith in it. So you can't just make yourself do anything. All right? There's no such thing as self-will. You don't have a will. Just seek God, get to know yourself, and everything will work out.
Definitely. I have one more thing.
Yeah. Where
This
you
might
from?
be a little bit off topic, but I don't know if many people know
Where you
about this.
from?
I'm from Florida.
Boy, okay. Right on, well, you can talk. What's your first name?
Huh?
What's your first name?
Caleb.
Kayla?
Caleb.
I'm sorry?
Caleb.
Caleb.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
There's like this thing with like the whole universal thing going on with like the 333, 222, 444 thing going on. Do you know about that?
No.
No, you don't. Does anybody know about that? Like the 444, 1111 thing.
What
Make a
does it all
wish?
mean?
I think it has something to do with numerology or like it being part of like the universe, because a lot of people, everything that's going on is being pushed like universally. If people have not known, like the New Age movement.
How much it costs?
No, it's free. It's free if you don't
Believe me,
believe
the
in
money
God.
coming. It ain't free. It's
Totally free if you don't believe in God. I mean,
no, they're going to eventually charge money for it. Either drive you crazy so they can give you medication or something. Are you into that?
no, not definitely not. I just like researched on a lot of
What
it.
is the
And a lot of my
purpose of
friends
it?
are in it.
What's the purpose of it?
I think it's just like to make you believe that the universe is giving you answers instead of it being from God.
No, don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get into that.
Exactly.
Really?
But that's it though. That's it.
Okay, good, man. Welcome to LA.
Right. Thank you.
All right.
Sounds like that astrology stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Zodiac and all that crap.
I know. If you notice, all these people end up dead, in trouble, sickness, and disease, and they cut off one breast and put on another one. They end up lives. There's this woman, this singer. What's her name? Her family are fighting over her money now. The father doesn't. The mother doesn't. Oh, Britney Spears. Just the nuttiest nutcake right now. And had all that money, and everybody liked her. She was doing her thing. Eventually, they end up messed up. All right. There's one woman that went out. She's in the movie Interested to a Black Lady. She went out and bought some hips, back butt, and now it's too big. And now they got to figure out how to cut it off. Isn't that like crazy? But everybody loving her. Oh, she's a movie star. She got money. And she look all glamorous on TV and walking the red carpet. All that is deception. Behind closed doors, they're suffering with like anybody else who are in a fallen state. They just have money to hide it until finally it comes out. And then when it comes out, they present it like it's a new fashionable disease. Oh, why are you telling your story? Oh, I just want to help everybody. They still present it like it's okay to be that way. The world is crazy because of Satan. Right here, and then there. Okay.
Hey, Jesse.
Hi there.
Man, last night was awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, the food was good. I thought it was going to be like, no, it was just good.
Did you have fish or chicken?
I had the fish.
Right on.
So good.
It was delicious.
Yeah.
It was like
the middle part with the panel discussion.
Yes.
For me, I thought it was a little bit boring.
Yes. Why?
And then I started getting a little disappointed, maybe.
Why?
Just because it was. Why was it boring, or why was I disappointed?
Both.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of dumb.
What's dumb?
Getting disappointed about it.
No. I just want to know why, so we can do better next time.
Yeah. Oh, well, I felt like, all right, so I'm there for the men's conference.
Right.
And then I felt like it was just kind of like some kids on stage.
They were kids.
Yeah. But where's the men?
We're trying to turn them into men.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, right. Yeah. So, yeah.
What some of you ladies don't know is, first of all, we ran out of time on that panel discussion, too. We were supposed to go longer.
Yeah.
But what we found out, ladies, you might not notice, a lot of men shave their bodies like a female. Did y'all know that, ladies? Did you know that? You aware of that? I'm aware. Esteban, I got, come with me. No.
Oh, no.
I'm like, this is one of the dumbest things. I never thought a man would do this. It's one of the dumbest feminist things I ever heard of. So what you don't know, ladies, men shave on their arms. Even Obama wife don't shave on her arms. Big mama don't shave on her there. And then they shave around their, private part. And I'm wondering, what does that feel like? We like, oh. It's bad enough putting on earrings and ponytails and all that, right? Now they shave it like a woman. I asked somebody, I won't mention the name, what does it feel like? A man, I said, what does it feel like when you shave like that? Well, first of all, I asked, do you shave? They said, yes. They said, it feels like a baby. I'm like, what? So what do you think, are you aware that men are shaving like a woman?
Well, so you need to clarify, because there are some men, I guess, who shave like with the razor completely, all the hair gone. And
Off the legs and everything.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't agree with that.
Can you
but then
imagine meeting a man and marrying him and find out he shaved his legs?
that would be weird.
He's like, here, honey, you want to use my shaver?
But then there are some guys who groom themselves, and they'll trim you know.
Trim?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Trim what?
Trim.
Why do they need to trim?
Why? Why?
Feels comfortable.
I mean,
Uh-oh, don't tell it. Why do they need to trim? What does that mean?
I don't know if they necessarily need to.
But why? Would you want to date a man that trims?
I wouldn't want to
Is that
date.
part of the application?
I wouldn't.
Do you trim?
Well, I wouldn't want to date a guy who's like excessively hairy.
Why not?
Good question. I don't know.
You never thought about it before now? Why not?
The word gross comes to mind, but
That's what some of the guys would say. Oh, that's gross.
Right.
That sounds like a woman. How does a man say his hair is gross? You know what I'm saying? What men don't know is that men are created in the image of God and women are created in the image of man, right? Because she came from him. And the men are not supposed to allow the woman to recreate him even more so in her image. Because those are things that ladies do, you know? And so the man is supposed to be right and be strong so that she can overcome all that stuff into his world. But it's all backwards where the women are now recreating the men in their image and now they're shaving. Isn't that amazing? That's why they be using Nair. So would you marry a man that shaves?
shaves, no.
But
Trims,
you just
yes.
met one that trims. Are you going to ask him in advance, do you shave or trim?
Would I mean, okay, so, well, I'm,
Oh,
so
that's
I'm
your
married,
husband?
first off.
Oh,
This
that's
is my
your
husband right here.
Oh,
So-
amazing. So you were there last night, right?
I was
he-
yeah.
But she wasn't there. Oh, okay.
I was in the hotel.
Oh, okay. There was a lady in the green room. I thought it was you. And so, would you want your husband to shave?
Shave, no.
But you
Trim.
want him to trim?
I would, well, I would allow it, I guess. So,
Allow
like,
it?
well, no,
All right, you have permission to trim, honey. And if you want to shave,
I wouldn't make him do it, is what I'm trying to say.
but that's the one time you can get a divorce.
If he
If
shaves.
you ever come home, he has shaved.
Yeah.
God said you can divorce.
Okay. If he breaks out the razor, yeah. No.
That is so amazing to me. Man, you're not supposed to be, don't let the ladies recreate you. Just take a shower. Take a morning shower, night shower, use soap, and you spray with deodorant, whatever under there, and you'll be fine. And the ladies like funky men. They do, they like sweaty men. Men that have been out working and you know, masculine and don't have anger. They love that kind of stuff. They don't want a shaved, clean man. Been to the office typing all day. What is the world coming to? And I know it's because of your father's not being there to guide you. I had one guy to tell me that his father shaved all the time. When he was growing up, his father shaved. Can you imagine letting your kids see that?
No.
That is something else. So are you guys going to have kids?
Planning on it, yes.
But make sure he doesn't trim in front of your son.
Okay.
No trimming in front of the kids. If you got to trim. The problem is when you trim, eventually you're going to cut off all your hair. It doesn't just stop at one thing. You know what I mean? One thing, if you notice when you do crazy stuff, it doesn't just stay with one little thing. You trim today, tomorrow you're totally shaved. That is mind-blowing to me. We got to have another conference next week. And I hear that most of the millennial guys do it. They're all girl. Amazing. So, thank you. All right. Yes.
The only reason I mentioned it was I kind of wondered if you did it on purpose. I doubt that you did, but I think it just worked out so nice because the middle part maybe was a little boring to me, but the end was so incredible. It was almost like it made it better.
With the group?
With Owen.
I mean, with Owen.
Yeah, because he came on with such a contrast to to the millennials or whoever was on stage at the beginning.
Yeah, because he's from the older generation.
Yeah.
That's why, and he is an example of what men were before.
Right.
I guess the women lived, moved, and men
Yeah.
gave up their rights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the paddle wasn't planned that way. It was, we just ran out of time.
Yeah, I think it just worked out.
And Ernest just, he started giving me, because I'll go all day long. He was like, so I had to end it so that Owen and the rest of the guests could come up.
It was fine though, but hey,
But
there's
be
something.
patient, man.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's something I wanted to tell you though, so that you can tell me what you think about it. Actually, just like an insight I had this morning after the conference, I realized, I had talked to you a while back about forgiving my mother. You asked me if I forgave her.
Yes.
And man, I was like, well, what do I forgive her for? Because in my mind, she's like just kind of, I don't want to say she's perfect, but I didn't have anything against her that I'm conscious of.
Right.
I thought she's just like real sweet, and I had
Amazing.
real big problems with my father, and always resentment towards my dad since I was a kid. Just
Yeah.
couldn't get along with him. And then you ask me why, and then when I try to identify why, it doesn't even sound that concrete, like why
Yeah.
I'm so pissed off at him.
Yeah.
I just realized this morning, one of my earliest memories with my dad was him coming home from work after being gone at work all day, and I'm at home with my mother. She's raising me and my two little sisters, and she had become angry at something I had done. Like I had done something wrong in her eyes.
Yes.
And instead of handling it, she waited until my dad got home and then filled his ear, told him what I had done, and then he took me in my room and pulled his belt off and beat me with his belt.
Amazing.
And not like he beat me
Did
like
he
ow,
beat you
like
or
he's
whoop
hurting
you?
me. He whooped me.
You've
Yeah.
been watching Oprah.
Okay,
All
but
of a sudden, a whooping is a beating.
okay, yeah,
You told Hoppo to beat me.
yeah, he spanked me.
Everything ain't
Yeah.
no beating. Now we all mad at his dad. His dad beat him.
Yeah, he didn't hurt me.
Right. But you like, he beat me.
But in the moment, I remember I was angry at him. I was just like, "Bruh." I was raging, like, just hatred toward him.
Right.
Because it felt like unjust. It didn't feel right to me. Because, I mean, I was a little kid. I had already moved. I had already forgotten about the thing that happened 4 or 5 hours
Right,
earlier.
absolutely.
But my mom didn't forget. And she didn't handle it. She just passed her anger on to him. And then he went and took care of business. And now I'm pissed off at him for violating me that's how I felt about it as a kid.
Right.
And then all of a sudden there's a rift and a separation between me and my dad. And I realized, like, that actually came from her.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't see it anyway. I just wanted to share that. I don't know if anybody else is
So
going
have
through
you
anything
gone
like
and
that.
forgiven her for that?
Man, I just realized it, so I have to do that now.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I didn't know that I resented my parents at all. It was only when I asked God to let me see what was wrong with me. I couldn't get better. I was going to church, I was reading Bibles, I was doing all this stuff, but I was still insecure, emotional. And so I asked, let me see what's wrong. And that's when he allowed me to see that I was judging my parents. My mother for turning me away from my father, being mean when I asked about him, and my father for not being there. I really didn't resent my father, but I wanted him. And so I don't know if that had not been revealed to me, what I had realized on my own, that I resented my mother, and that was holding me back in life. Most men and women, probably all, but most, definitely resent their mothers, and they don't realize because they think their mother's sweet. My mother seems so sweet. If you met her, she a church-going, Baptist kind of a lady. She dead now, but I never imagined that because I felt that emotional love toward her, but that was coming from the hate. So I totally understand by you not realize you think your mother's all good and you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Most people don't realize a lot of ladies don't realize they resent their mothers even though they're just like their mothers. They carry out the same thing when they get involved with their families. They do the same thing that the mother did with their husband and the children. But they don't realize they become like their mothers and not themselves. Some have, but most don't. But good, man. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will.
All right.
Real quick, just because it's like, so the story goes, and my mom
Another
always,
saying that you just like your mama too, because Satan told you that last night that little panel thing was planned that way,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. You still listen to the voices in your head.
Yeah.
You got to doubt every voice you get about anything. It's impossible to have a true thought in here. It's impossible. So you got to doubt even those little ones that doesn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah.
You got to doubt that too. Because he's not going to tell you the truth about anything.
Right.
All right, so doubt every thought.
I was going to tell you how I can see a pattern how it was passed on. My mother was abused by her father.
Yes.
And I felt like, oh, I'm not abused by my mother, but vicariously, I ended up getting just whooped by my father, but it caused a separation between us.
Yeah.
In a similar way like she had, and it just got passed right on.
Yeah. Is your father still living?
Yeah.
Are you going to let him know this?
Yeah.
Oh, make sure you do.
I got to do that.
He would love to hear that.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
Yeah, right on.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Jesse, amazing to be here.
Amazing for you to be here. Where you from?
Originally from Connecticut, but I'm living in Chicago right now.
Right on.
And,
Chi-town.
Well, actually, it's funny that we're talking about it because I am currently getting kicked out of the place that I live in for telling the truth.
Right
really
on.
just being honest and full of love. But after watching you for about a year now, I realize there's not much to worry about. I'm following God and just doing the right thing, and I have all the faith in the world that it'll lead me. And it's been tough at times, but
What's been tough?
I suppose just the lack of faith and dealing with these worldly problems and people hating me and me never feeling like I belong. And I grew up in a blue state, and I've always been in the cities and stuff like that. So I've always been told that I was wrong, or, bigot, racist, homophobe.
A what?
Just like a bigot or something like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So when you say you felt like you've always felt you didn't belong to what?
I guess the group mentality.
You wanted to belong to the LGBT people? What is
Definitely not. When you put it that way, it does make a lot more sense. It's like...
What did you feel like you didn't belong to?
I just feel like naturally we have this sense of community sometimes, that we want to be a part of the group or the town or the city or the family.
I understand.
Yeah.
And what do you realize about that now?
That I really don't want to be those people. I'm following the example of God and myself and silence and going along with these, the more simpler truths, I think.
One thing I want you to know is the reason I'm asking, because when you have that feeling, Satan to tell you that, oh, you don't belong here, you don't belong to this group or that group, really it's a yearning for the Father. But he's trying to deceive you to make you think it's something else that's missing. And so you believe that, and now you're trying to find something to belong to. It's all a lie. Because once you return to your Father and you fulfill, you're going to see it's never been about anything else but that. Right. It's not belonging or not belonging. It's a yearning for the Father. That's why God said, there will come a day when I return the children to the fathers and the fathers to the children. That's what that emptiness is about. But when you're separated from your Father, Satan is telling you it's something else. And then you have the experts telling you that too. Oh, you need to belong to this group, or we love you, and all that kind of stuff. That's not what it is.
And it's funny too, just a little side note, I used to live in West Hollywood for like 6 months, over a year and a half ago.
No wonder.
I would have,
you missed
not the
that,
LGBT. But yeah, I didn't know about you guys in this community yet. It would have been so great to have this community, or help getting a job for that matter. But
Are you working now?
I'm self-employed now.
Oh, good. What do you do?
I'm a recording engineer, so...
See there, you could help him with his song.
Yeah, absolutely. And
have you returned to your Father?
Yes, I've forgiven my mother and my father.
How did that go for you?
It was a little strange because I also have something. My little brother came yesterday, and I have something to say about him as well. But he beat me to the punch and kind of forgave my parents before me.
Yeah.
So I felt that I was getting a less impact because they already knew it was coming. Oh, he's gonna forgive me now. And so my mom was just like, so my mom was like, yeah, kind of rushing me through it.
Oh.
Yeah, like, oh, you forgive me. I did the best I could. Yeah, big deal. Okay. And I felt like I didn't get the big impact of it. Yeah.
What kind of impact did you need?
Well, I mean, I know what you say about just really getting it off your chest, but I felt like I was rushed through it. I wanted to kind of itemize. I wanted to say everything that you did to me and why I was upset about it. Yeah, okay, I was terrible. Big
Amazing.
deal.
That's another setup from Satan.
I guess so.
Your brother went, now your mother's gonna rush you through it, right?
Right.
You don't fall for that.
Yeah.
And don't expect anything. The purpose is to forgive so that you can return to the Father. All right? So don't expect her to say yes or say no. You don't have to itemize everything. You can just, whatever you say, that's all you need to say.
As long as you're feeling it.
Yeah, as long as you say it and let it go, it's no problem.
Absolutely. And a point for my brother, this is something that has been affecting us. He was unfortunately not able to make it here today. He had to get a flight out this morning, but he was here last night.
Right.
Great time. We had an amazing time.
It was something else, man.
It was amazing. So good.
Amazing.
Yeah, just a little too much
Do you
manscaping
shave?
talk.
No, don't tell me. Don't tell me what the ladies here.
That's right. Yeah.
You won't ever get a wife now.
I did love the panel, just a tiny bit too much manscaping talk. But besides that, 80%.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, I wanted to bring up this point that I had about my father, naturally a baby boomer and kind of a beta male, and how me and my brother, we're always sort of musicians and actors and performers, but we're performers who don't really perform. And I'm a recording studio engineer as opposed to somebody who goes out and performs live. But when we were younger, my dad in particular would always come up to us when we were learning to play trumpet or stuff like that and say, "Sounds great, kid, sounds great." And when I knew in my head it didn't sound great, because I was
Right.
learning, I was practicing the scales.
Yeah.
And I always sort of felt resentment for that a little bit, because I knew that he was lying to me. And now I can't even perform, and I think too much kind of about Chicago and the community thing. I think about too much of what other people think of me.
Yeah.
I feel, and that's really been getting me, and I can't perform. I don't even want the people I hate to hear me practicing piano now because of something in my head, like, I don't know, maybe one day I'll show them or something like that.
I understand that.
Right?
I was talking to a young man who, when he was growing up, he was playing soccer or something like that. And his mother would always tell him how wonderful he was. And then one time he was playing and the coach made him sit down. And the mother went and yelled at the coach saying that my son is great, my son is wonderful. And he believed into all that stuff. And now when anyone disagree with him or discipline him, he overreacts to it because in his mind he's wonderful. And if anybody disagree with him, they're jealous or they're just mad at him or they're judging him because of what she did to him. You have to forgive your father for that. Have you talked to him about that?
I did. I didn't specifically even think about that particular, speaking of itemizing, I didn't think about that particular instance till even just a couple weeks ago, really. And realizing why it is that I feel that way. I feel like a performer in my heart, but I have so much blockage.
Well, you got Satan is messing with you, reminding you of that, so you could be angry about that and hold you back. Either you go to your father and have a discussion about it, or just let every thought go. Right. Just doubt. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Not consistently.
Suffer.
I know.
Suffer and die. I can't do anything.
I got into meditation.
Only God, I can tell you where to go, the right thing, but unless you do it, it's not going to work because it's spiritual and I can't change it, and you can't change it. And even if you went back to your father, he can't change it. Because if you don't be still to allow God to take over for you, you're going to be stuck. Why don't you do the silent prayer?
Well, sometimes I feel like, I don't want to speak for people, but I feel like we have the same problem that sometimes I feel like we're addicted to suffering.
Who is we?
Well, I'll speak for myself. I'll just speak for myself. I feel like I'm addicted to suffering. Sometimes I like it and thinking maybe I'm not good enough to have just a free mind and be with God.
Really?
In these moments.
Well, just suffer until you're tired of suffering.
Right.
Hopefully you don't die.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe your suffering will bring you to realize this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not the way it's supposed to be, and you're a crowd to God.
Yeah. It feels like I'm earning something when I suffer, though,
You are.
subconsciously.
You're earning death.
Yeah.
You're dying. Really.
You're probably right.
People who suffer are dying. They're not living. God is not about suffering. Christ already suffered for you. All right? And he's put everything back in order, so you don't need to suffer. You really don't need, but some people have hard heads, and hopefully you don't suffer too much until you die from it, but just suffer.
Yeah. I got to get back to the silent prayer. It's true.
But why?
I
Don't you
definitely
like
felt
suffering?
I feel like in my subconscious I do, and I don't know why. And I know that I feel much more calm and have a clear head when I do the silent prayer, like types of meditation.
Yeah, then you'll be able to go
Kundalini
and
breathing.
play and do everything, man.
Yeah.
Play your music and stuff.
That's right.
But just suffer till you're tired of suffering. You're not tired yet, right?
I don't think so, but
Well,
I'm
then just
definitely
suffer.
getting there. And
Well,
I also
so what?
smoke pot and stuff like that.
You smoke pot?
Which I'm trying to.
You
to
smoke
not-
pot?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. I could make the musician excuse, but at the same time, probably
Yeah.
not.
The world got you, man. They messing with you.
Yeah.
And they're keeping you from becoming a son of God and allowing that to come out of you. And so they're stopping your music, they're stopping everything because they're demoralizing you. And that's why they give you the pot, because it does mess with your mind. I was talking to a guy who was an ex-pothead, and he's nutty in the head now. It messed with his mind. Pot does mess with your mind. I know y'all little potheads don't think so. But it really does. It messes with your mind. And it also can lead to other drugs too.
Yeah.
And then when you're not high, you can't function at all because now reality is there and you can't really deal with it.
Right.
How old are you?
27, almost 28.
Oh, okay. We just suffer some more smoking pot.
Smoke on it. Yeah, that's right.
Until you get tired, yeah.
I definitely feel like it's sort of become a lifestyle, unfortunately, where I make the excuse that I'm a musician, so I could do that.
Yeah.
It opens up the creativity.
And it's not you making those excuses.
Right.
It's your daddy, Satan.
Yeah.
You real, but it sounds like you're making them, but he's making them for you in your voice. So it sounds like you're making them. It's not you. You would never make a decision to fail in life. You would never make a decision, I need to suffer.
It's true.
Or I need to smoke pot so I can feel better. You wouldn't make that decision. It's just that you're so identified with the voice of Satan, you think that is you.
Right. And I feel like I've almost had enough of it. And I'm waking up every day, because this is another thing I wanted to tell you about, is that like I feel like I knew all this stuff when I was 7 years old.
You did.
I swear to
The
God, I wanted
kids
to tell
know
you
the
that.
whole truth
But I was
already.
corrupted by society.
Yes.
And I don't want to take up too much time, but I definitely did want to make that point.
No problem. When you start waking up, what happen for you, you'll be reminded of what you already know. There are no surprises because you already know the truth. When you were born, the truth came with you.
Yeah.
And as a little kid, you knew it, but you were traumatized.
So wholeheartedly, I feel like I knew all this stuff. When you speak, that's why I feel so connected to it, because
Yes.
I knew this, but
That's
something
right.
told me to forget
Yeah.
throughout my life.
The trauma did. So
Yeah.
that's why you gotta let the anger go. But just suffer.
Absolutely.
All right. You gonna suffer some more?
I got to make the conscious. Well, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to. But
Why don't you just do the silent prayer just for the sake of it?
yeah, I think I'm going
Because
to.
God knows your heart. And just do it and morning and night and see what happens.
Right.
And if you still want to suffer, he'll say, okay, you can go suffer some more.
Absolutely.
All right?
Thank you,
But do
Jesse.
it because you're on your way. Otherwise, you wouldn't recognize where I'm coming from.
Absolutely.
Like you said, I'm just reminding you of what you already know.
That's right. I really feel that.
Yeah, so just do the silent prayer for now.
Thank
All
you,
right?
Jesse.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, no. Oh, thank you. I really
All
appreciate
right.
that.
Yes, sir. And then here and here. Uh-huh.
Oh, how's it going, Jesse?
Good, man. Who's your brother?
Right here.
What's his
Will.
name?
Will. I'm Luke.
This is Will's brother, Luke, and his daddy was here a couple weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
You from Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
So how's it going?
It's good. It's been good. The men's conference, I was there last night.
Are
Enjoyed
you free?
it. I'm free.
You
Yeah.
forget your mother?
I've not forgiven my mother.
You're not free then.
It's one of those things, kind of like he was saying. I don't really have animosity towards her.
What do you have?
I have love for her.
What kind of love?
The love that a son has for his mother, I guess.
And what is that?
What do you mean? What is that?
What kind of love does a son have for his mother?
Appreciation. You
For
know,
what?
For raising us. We were raised in the church, and I
you
guess
appreciate that?
Yeah, I do.
You need to
I
talk
do.
to Will.
I know. Will, he's a good, he's a good kid.
Who's the oldest?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm in the middle though. We have an older sister too.
Oh,
so
okay.
It's the three of us.
And so your mother took you to church and you appreciate it?
Yeah.
What
I
did
do.
it do for you that caused you to appreciate it?
That you know, just that we. I feel like some kids don't have parents that you know that love them enough to you know take them to church or just be there for them or provide. You know, I feel blessed to have been raised you know with a mother and a
What
father
did it
that
do
loved
for
me.
you to take you to church?
Say that again.
What did it do for you that she took you to church?
Well, you know, back then I didn't really like going to church. You know.
Did she know you didn't like it?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably. Maybe.
And she took you anyway?
Well, they both did. You know, it was you know, and then you know, instead of
Your mother took you to church knowing that you didn't like it?
oh yeah, we were
And you
there.
appreciate that?
No, not at the time. No.
Did you tell her? Did you tell her that?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Well, you know, I just pick your battles, I guess. You know, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I didn't want to get grounded or you know or anything like that.
So as an adult, you didn't want to get grounded?
No, as a child, you know.
Why haven't you told that as an adult? I didn't like it when you took me to church and I didn't want to go.
Well, I guess because now I understand that it was actually important and it actually did help. You
Why
know, help
was that
me.
important and how did it help?
I think it was.
Don't you
it
love
was,
this? This is like being on the Father's stage.
Yeah.
Why did you like it and how did it help?
I just think that it's a value system to learn at a young age that I think helps.
Help what?
Helps as when you're an adult.
In what way?
You know, it's something I rebelled though. You know, like
You rebelled as an adult?
As an adult, as a young adult.
So it didn't help?
No, I don't think. I mean,
What you just said?
But
I need a drink. Anybody got a joint? So it didn't help.
nah, it helped me know that community is there for you know, like
Another community, huh? And so what good did it do you to know that community is there?
I think, like I was saying before, it was just a value system that was good to just know that was there. Because
What good did it do you to know that it was there?
So what good did it do for me to know that it was?
It was like, oh, there's a LGBT community over there.
No, I don't hang out with that community very much. But
there's a church community.
Yeah.
What good did that do you in life knowing that there's a community over there?
So
how did that help you in life?
You know, in high school or whatever, and then you know, in college and stuff, I like rebelled from the church and stuff, and got into drugs and just partying, and really didn't, you know, just kind of, God was not in my life. But then, you know, it came to a point where I was suffering and dying, and I felt it, you know, and so I started going back to church, and it was really good for me at that time.
In what way?
Just being around like-minded individuals.
So you stopped suffering and dying?
That was my path that was the beginning of.
Did you stop suffering and dying by going back to church, to that community?
I think it helped me return to, you know,
Did you
to
stop
God.
suffering and dying by going to the community?
Not right away. No. No, it might have been it helped me you know, recover from the trauma that I was
What trauma?
going. Just you know, just Satan had a hold of me. You know.
What caused that?
Not praying, you know, just really just turning away from God.
What caused you to turn away from God?
Selfishness.
What caused selfishness?
What caused that? You know, I would just say desire, lust, you know, worldly desires.
What caused that?
Satan.
What made Satan do that to you?
Maybe God allowed Satan to get to do that to me.
Do you think that if you had been close to your father, rather than going to that church, but been close to your father, that you would have gone through all that? Or if your mother had not forced the church down your throat, you would have gone through all that?
I probably would. It would have been different. You know, I don't know what my life would have looked like if.
Do you think you would have gone through that kind of hell had you been close to your father?
We've always we've been close. He was never abusive. He provided for us and loved us and everything, and so it was. But maybe being raised in the church made me rebel, and maybe that's why I went through all that stuff. Huh?
Maybe.
Probably.
Probably.
Absolutely.
Well, it wasn't necessarily being raised in the church that did it, but resenting your mother for making you go. Made you turn away from it. And you need to forgive her for that. And your father should not have allowed her to do that. Because what you needed was a father's love.
Yeah.
And not that.
Well, I haven't thought of it that way.
Why not?
I just haven't. But that makes sense. It does.
He shouldn't have done that to you.
No.
Knowing that you didn't want to go, and then once you start rebelling, still making you go, and you went off to college or whatever, and it got worse, it all started there, man. Besides, not only did she make you go to church, she made you do other stuff you didn't want to do too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that?
I do. Yeah.
Do you see it because I'm saying it, or because you see it for yourself right now?
I'm seeing it for myself, and
So I
because you're
thought
saying.
she was so sweet and perfect.
Who? What?
Your mama.
She ain't perfect. She's definitely not perfect.
You just said she was sweet and perfect, right?
She's sweet. She's kind. Not perfect.
But the sweet kind is the one that kills you.
Yeah.
Did you know that the sweet mama is the one that kills you?
Yeah.
Black men think they have sweet mamas. Mama is God, and look how they suffer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what do you think? And I got to move on. What do you think about this now? Will didn't tell you this already?
No, I guess not. Will, come on, what's up?
Why you didn't tell him? What? Go ahead.
I do have one question for you. Things like pot,
You smoke pot?
Sometimes, from time to
Amazing.
time. But I have another question. Caffeine and sugar and fat and smoking cigarettes and so but some people they wake up and they want coffee and they put coffee in there, but even coffee changes you a little bit up here and you're not totally sober, I guess.
You can get to a point where you're addicted to it. You need it.
Yeah,
Right.
I was wondering if you have any thoughts on like substance, abuse, even if it's just coffee. Can you take that too far even? Or is it good to have a completely clear mind and not smoke cigarettes, not have coffee in the morning, because that's what I like to do, have a coffee in the morning.
So you smoke pot, have a cigarette, and coffee?
Sometimes,
I'm
just being honest.
You're like speeding through the day, right?
So
you need all three?
No, I don't. But the
you do
first
it, though,
two,
right?
yeah. No.
You do coffee, pot, and cigarettes.
No, not the pot usually. It's usually, but
You smoke pot?
Not as much as I used to, but.
Do you smoke pot?
Sometimes.
Do you smoke pot?
Yeah.
God. See how hard it is to admit what you do to yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you're suffering, and you're still not happy. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I am working towards it, but.
By doing what?
By
smoking more. You going to add to the pot, coffee, and cigarette?
Booze sometimes too. Yeah.
You a mess.
I know. I'm a mess. But do you have to be off everything to truly, be happy or be, one, like a godly man or out of the fallen state? Can you like coffee and still be out of the fallen state?
That's a good question. I want Will to answer that first, and then I'll respond.
All right, Will.
Will, why have you told him about he need to go and forgive his mother?
I have.
Oh, you told him?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said he didn't need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have to be off all that in order to be happy?
You're better with a clear mind.
Do you have to be off all that stuff in order to be happy?
No, but I don't think happiness is like the end all. You should want peace.
Do you think you have to be off all that stuff you're doing to be happy?
You don't have to be off of it,
To be
but
happy?
I think you're better off with a clear mind.
Oh, okay. No, what you need to do to have, as he hinted at, you need to have peace. And the way you do it, you got to face your mother. You got to go and deal with her, forgive her. She couldn't help it. Then you have peace, and all this other stuff will start to fall away that needs to fall away. And then you'll be able to do things in moderation. You know, nothing wrong with a cup of coffee in moderation. You know, or you won't need it at all. But you gotta, until you have that peace, you're gonna be relying on something. But you gotta forgive your mother.
Yeah.
Are you afraid to face her?
No, I'm not afraid to.
No, I'm not afraid to. Just lying.
Is it?
No. Sound like Bill Clinton.
You're funny, Jesse. You are. You are.
Are you gonna do it?
Absolutely, yeah. Now that when you put it that way, like I said, I didn't really feel like I had a reason to, but I actually do. You know.
You see that you do?
I do. I see that I do now have resentment about being force-fed a belief system.
Yes.
Early on.
Absolutely. And plus, she wasn't living what she was trying to get you to live. She wasn't being what she would take you to church to be. Have you noticed that? She would take you to church, but in the home, she was held to pay.
Yeah, she was. You probably learned that from Will, didn't you?
Yeah. I know how it worked now.
Yeah. No, it was kind of a facade. Yeah.
So knowing all that, how old are you?
31.
As an adult, why are you still deceiving yourself about it? You know she took you to church, you didn't want to go, she forced you to go anyway, but behind closed doors, she wasn't even living it.
Yeah.
Why do you run away from that reality? Just for the record.
Maybe I just put it out of my mind, and I'm more focused on myself and bettering my own self than living in the past.
You think you could better yourself?
Yeah, I think so.
You think you could? Why haven't you done it then? You're 31 years old.
Well, I'm trying. It's a daily thing, you know.
Smoking all that stuff and drinking.
Yeah, it might not be helping, but.
So what?
You know, I think that weed does it does have long-term effects, and it's probably not good for your brain.
But you're drinking alcohol, right?
Sometimes, yeah.
You're drinking coffee.
Yeah, I like coffee in the morning. Yeah.
You're smoking weed.
Sometimes, yeah.
You're smoking cigarettes.
All the time, yeah.
You're really bettering yourself.
No, I'm killing it.
Can you tell you're getting better?
Yeah.
How is that bettering yourself?
That stuff's not. That stuff probably isn't.
So what are you doing to better yourself?
What am I doing to? Well, I'm doubting every thought.
Sure. I'm doubting every thought. I'm doubting that I'm gonna have 3 joints today.
So but that's a lot of the things that you preach and you teach are extremely helpful, and and so and I appreciate that you for that. But it's a daily thing. And,
What's the daily thing?
Like waking up and not falling into sin.
It's a daily thing. Wake up and not falling into sin.
And giving into the worldly temptation.
Like the coffee and all that stuff.
I guess, yeah.
And what else? Are you leaving something out? You don't shave, do you?
Oh my God. Oh goodness.
You got a lot of sin.
No, I'll tell you though, no.
You might as well with everything else you're doing.
Yeah. No, it's.
But listen, all jokes aside, you're going to be free when you forgive your mother. You really will. That's what the issue is. Have you forgiven your father?
Not really.
Okay. And why not?
Because what do I have to forgive him for? I don't think I have anything to forgive him.
Tell him that he let your mother mess up your life, force you to go to church and all that stuff. And he knew she wasn't living right herself.
Yeah.
Tell him that. Forgive him for that.
Yeah, and they got it. Well, you already know this because you've met my father and you know Will, but they did get a divorce when we were kids, and
right.
And if I have anything to forgive him for, it's that for sure.
For getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Well, forgive him for that too. He couldn't handle your mother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it did kind of, it affected all of us, at that time. So, yeah, I think I should, definitely do that. So, and thanks for helping me see that, because it's hard for me to. I don't like being too much in the past. I don't know. That's
it's not the past. It's your present.
Yeah.
You're that way now.
Absolutely.
It would be over with once you forgive your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be done with. But right now you're still that way, so it's not in the past. It's right here and now.
Cool.
Are you married?
No, sir.
You have kids?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling good. It's cool to get to talk to you. I feel like I'm and.
Are you nervous right now?
Not too bad. I mean, usually when I have a mic in front of my face, I've got my guitar too, because
Oh, you play guitar?
Yeah, play music.
So are you nervous right now?
A little bit,
Yeah, I can tell you're nervous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's hard to open up, especially in front of a bunch of people.
Well, we all come from the same thing.
Yeah.
Believe me, nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
Really, because can't no one judge you.
Yeah. So.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
I can tell you're nervous. Want me to tell you how I know?
Sure.
This knee going 90 miles an hour. And then you're all crunching in the seat. And
90 going north.
Yeah, 90 going north.
Yeah.
So are you dating? You say you're not dating?
No.
Have you dated?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they beat you up?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're dating your mother.
Yeah.
Now you understand why your father left. He couldn't have your mother. So every woman you get involved with is just like her. Mm-hmm. And I say that so you can forgive, so you can be free and start a new generation. Your kids won't have to go through it. Mm-hmm. And your wife won't go through it. She'll be different. Because God will put in the right woman in your life.
Cool.
All right?
Yeah.
Will you let me know how it goes?
I will.
Any other question?
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah. What is it like having a ponytail?
It
feel like, oh, girl,
yeah. It's
this feels so pretty.
It's a love-hate relationship.
It's a love-hate relationship?
Yeah, it is.
Meaning what?
Sometimes I want to just chop it all off, but sometimes I kind of like it. Yeah.
And what do you like about it? It makes you feel pretty?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I rest my case. I rest my case.
Does your beard make you feel pretty too?
No, it made me not have to shave.
Yeah.
I forget I have it because I hate shaving, really.
Yeah.
Meaning that I don't have time every morning to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I saw James with his. I'm like, maybe I'll wear a beard. So I thought I'd give it a try. What do you think about it?
Looks good.
It fits?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to quit if it didn't fit. All right, I got to move on. Any other questions? Anything?
No, thank you.
Was this helpful?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm telling you, the only reason you see where I'm coming from is because God is trying to bring you back to Him. And the way He bring you back, you got to see that it's wrong to hold resentment to your parents. So when you go to them, just apologize for the resentment. Don't apologize for what they did to you, because that was wrong. But forgive them for it. They couldn't help it. And your whole world will change. Then you have peace, and the rest of this stuff will fall away in time.
Okay.
the alcohol and all that kind of, and you do it in moderation if you have to do it.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
But you got to come back to the Father first. That makes sense?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm sorry Will didn't tell you all this. What do you think
Come on,
about him not telling you?
I forgive him for it. It's all right. Yeah.
He should have let you. You should have read some of
Hey,
his
I
notes.
did tell him. I did tell him. He didn't listen.
Oh, he didn't listen. Huh? Oh, okay. All right. Anybody right here? I think yes. All right. I'm gonna move a little faster, everybody. Then I'm gonna try to get to everybody in the room. All right. Okay.
Hey, Jesse, what's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Great, man, great.
Where you from?
I'm from Plano, Texas, but I'm originally from Rhode Island.
Right on.
Yeah. So,
Welcome to LA.
Yeah, right on. Thank you. Been here before, but it's been 20-some years, and I was in a fallen state last time I was in this town, so
Right
don't
on.
remember much. You know what I mean?
I can imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But you were talking about forgiving your parents. I did that. My dad, he was easy with my father. With my mother, my mom's kind of been there for me my whole life. Yeah, call me a beta, whatever you want to call me. Hey, you know what? And a few years ago, if someone would have called me a beta male, I would have went at him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, it just rolls right off my head, man. It's
That's
like,
how the black guys are. You mention their mothers. You say so bad about the mama.
Yeah, I
you
know.
gotta fight. You mention bad about the father, no big deal.
But I had that whole closeness to my mother thing.
Yeah.
And I identified it. You know, I identified the problem right off the bat. And I was like, yeah, you know, I was like, I don't have to forgive my mother for anything. She was great. She was there. I'm not going to. So I tried to forgive her. And she said, for what? And all the stuff I've done for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I brought you in this world.
Exactly.
And so are you free now?
Yeah, I'm still smoking the weed, but.
You smoke weed?
Yeah.
How old are you? What age do you stop?
I'm 50, and I started probably smoking it when I was about 11 or 12 years old, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
All that money wasted.
Nah.
And why do you need? Why do you need weed right now at 50?
Well, I mean, I used to drink and do a lot of drugs, and I did AA and all that stuff years ago, and it helped. I mean, I haven't had a drink in 10 years. I haven't done any hard drugs.
Substituted with smoking.
It kind of keeps me calm, you know, and the whole thing when I first got in touch with you, like, you know, got in touch with your show, the first thing you were talking about was anger and the hatred.
Yeah.
And that was my main thing in life that was messing me all up.
So why do you need weed right now at 50?
I don't know, because I got a 5-year-old running around the house, and I'm making excuses, but it relaxes me.
Are you doing my silent prayer?
Yes, I do. I only get to do it maybe 3 times a week.
Suffer.
Suffer,
That's why
right.
you need
You're
the
right.
weed.
You do it with pot, right?
You do the silent prayer when you're high?
Sometimes.
That's why I asked.
What's wrong with you?
Well, hey, you know, I like to relax a little bit and smoke a little herb.
Do you fall asleep when you're high and doing the silent prayer?
No, I can't. No, I don't fall asleep at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
Try doing it before you hit your joint.
I'm not awake in bed. I'm kind of this week I've been smoking, and usually during the week I don't smoke at all. I just work.
Right.
And Friday, it's a Friday and Saturday night thing.
You reward yourself, huh?
Yes.
It's been a hard week.
Yeah,
Now I'm going to reward myself with a joint.
Exactly. And
Okay, here's what I recommend. Then I got to move on. Do the silent prayer and then smoke your joint.
and then give me a time to
Yeah.
get with God, and He can
You see
show
what happens.
me.
Yeah, because he's definitely trying to bring you back to him.
Yeah.
If you see that you need to overcome that anger. So do the silent prayer and then go in the room and smoke your joint.
Okay.
I
I try to identify everything.
Yeah. What do you think, the young lady right next to you then here, what do you think about what we were talking, this is your first time here, right?
Yes, it is.
What's your first name?
Gretchen?
What do you think about what you hear right now about the mothers and all the stuff you hear? What do you think about that?
It's very new to me. I'm I'm new to your show. I've been listening to you for only the past couple months.
Oh, okay.
But I've been learning about all this forgive your parents stuff.
Yes.
And growing up, I resented both my parents.
You can be totally honest with me.
Yeah. So growing up,
I'm
I
one black
resented.
man that don't fight white people.
I resented both my parents. And I felt justified in that because I felt that.
In the anger?
Yeah, because I felt like they were supposed to protect me and provide me with the best life. And so I felt, justified in being angry with them.
Yeah.
And I thought that it's okay, that
Right.
anyone should. But then hearing you talk about how you should forgive them, and that'll help you have a more peaceful life. It made sense
Yeah,
to
it'll bring
me.
you back to yourself
Yeah.
before that happened to you.
Absolutely. So I actually took that step and forgave both my parents.
You did?
I did.
You went to them?
Well, so my father passed away about 5 years ago.
Oh,
So I
okay.
had to kind of just do
Right.
that in my head,
Yeah.
forgive him. And then my mother, there's a physical distance. She lives down near Temecula. I live in the Bay Area up
Okay.
north. So there's the physical distance. I wasn't able to go to her to do it. But I just did it last night, actually.
Oh,
So
really?
I wanted to be prepared. I've been wanting to
amazing.
do it, but I kept putting it off, and I knew I was going to come here today, so I was like,
And you knew I was
going
going
to
to
do it.
ask about it, huh?
Absolutely. So I FaceTimed her yesterday,
good.
last night,
Yeah.
and we spoke about it. And I can tell you about that experience if you want to hear
Yeah,
about
uh-huh.
it. It was really difficult for me for a
And
lot
why?
of reasons. Well, my mother and I don't communicate very well.
Yeah.
We keep in touch, but we just surface talk. Like,
Yes.
how was your day?
Yeah.
What were you up to? We never really talk about anything real. So
Yes.
when we were talking about it, I actually broke down crying. It surprised me. I wasn't expecting to cry.
No problem.
But yeah, I was just really nervous, and I was kind of like how I am right now, just jumbling over my words. I wasn't
you're
able to
doing fine
really
right
get it
now.
out. But ultimately, I let her know, I don't have any resentment towards you. I forgive you for, well, I kind of explained to her that that I had these negative feelings towards her while
Yes.
growing up, and she was surprised to hear that. I don't think that she knew that I had any kind of negative feelings towards her, especially because the past few years we've had a very non-conflicting relationship. We get along, we don't argue or anything. I think so.
Right.
She was just kind of taken aback to hear this.
Good.
So yeah, she was confused to hear this, but she was really happy to
She
hear
wasn't
that I was
confused to
forgiving
hear
her.
it. She's surprised that you approached her.
Sure.
Believe me.
Right. But I mean, she took it positively. She was really thankful, and
You told her you forgive her for what she did?
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Before I talked to her, I was trying to prepare myself for it, and well, what should I say exactly? And but I know you say don't believe your thoughts.
Don't prepare.
So
Because God will give you the words to say.
yeah. So she kept wanting me to say a specific example, what are you forgiving me for? She was surprised, and so I was trying to think of what's a specific moment growing up that I could forgive her for. And one thing that came to my mind was well, you could have spent more time with me growing up. And she immediately was well, I tried to, and she defensive. And so I was
Yeah.
well, okay. I was thinking, well, specific instances don't matter then. I'm just gonna
That's
just
right.
let her know. Just generally, I was well, the purpose of this is just to let you know I'm just forgiving you.
Yes.
So I kind of just let it at
Because she was
that.
trying to throw you off to make you think of something.
Right, yeah, and she even wanted me to go. She's you should write down a list and come
See
back
that?
to me and
You
we
should,
should talk about this.
Don't tell me how to forgive.
So
That doesn't work like that.
So I immediately, hanging up the phone with her, I kind of felt like I did that wrong and that I'm going to have to go back and do it again. Yeah, but then I also talked to my husband about it afterwards, and he reminded me, those are all your thoughts. Don't believe your thoughts.
That was Satan told you that.
Yeah.
Because it went the way it went, Satan say, oh, you didn't do that right. Now I encourage you to start doubting every thought. Because he's lying to you, he gets involved in everything. And if you believe those thoughts, you'll find yourself going back.
Right.
And she'll set you up again. Oh, you already forgave me. What did I do now?
Yeah, exactly.
No, don't go back.
Okay.
Just whenever you speak to her, be yourself, speak up. With everybody now, learn to speak up. Don't be so soft in voice, and you'll be fine. Okay. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Not consistently, but I want to. But I know.
And die. But start doing the silent prayer.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. But you're on your way. Okay. You'll look, after a while, your life is going to be amazing.
Yeah. Looking forward
to it. So
next
time you talk with her, be yourself now. Be honest and talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
If you see the needs.
Yeah.
And you'll be fine.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Right on. Yes.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey,
just real quick, shout out to D-Live.
Oh, yeah,
the D-Live fam.
This is D-Live.
You got done. No Anger Too Nasty, giving all kinds of ninja
No
guineas
Anger
today.
Too Nasty. What kind of name is that?
Dark Side of the Bears hanging in. But I'm trying to wrap my mind around this concept that you talk about where until we have our kids, like we were saying earlier, we want to have kids.
Are you going to have white babies?
Yes, we're going to make white babies.
Oh, so both of you are white?
Yes.
White babies! I thought you were Hispanic or something. You look like a Hispanic or something.
Basque, we're very, very white.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
White babies. We're celebrating White History next month.
Yes,
Isn't
we
that
are
amazing?
very excited.
Yeah.
But that's the question, because you talk about how, you know, we're in a fallen state until after we have the kids, et cetera. So I'm wondering about like perfect peace. I feel like I'm on the precipice, like so close. Yesterday we had a.
You feel like you're really close to perfect peace?
Yes.
What does that feel like?
It was interesting. Well,
Like,
yesterday.
almost there?
Yes.
I can see perfect peace down the road.
Well, it's like I'm getting to a point where when certain triggers like literally raise my heart rate.
Yes.
And typically in the past I would be angry and be all thrown off.
Right
Now
on.
I'm watching that happen. I'm learning from you to relax in it.
Yes. Are you
ratings-
doing the silent prayer?
Yes, every day and night.
Oh, good.
Yesterday, as soon as we arrived in LA, I was checking my bank to take care of business at
Right
the
on.
hotel. Found out there was an issue with my paycheck. And so instantly I was getting flooded with thoughts,
Yeah.
and my heart started racing. I started hearing all these things about how you didn't plan, you're not a good man, you're this and that. And as I relaxed in it, the solution came to me, and I had some clients I called.
That's right.
And it was fine, everything worked out. And so that's what I mean. It's like I still get that heart palpitation kind of a situation, and I'm wondering, am I going to just have to suffer through that until we have our kids and I can actually be born again?
Are you going to have a lot of
'cause
kids?
I'm hoping.
At least 10? We need a lot of
I
white.
have 9 siblings.
We need
so.
a lot of white babies.
Right. Yeah, I come
So
from
you
a family
can't
of
have
6.
3.
She comes from a family of 10. So,
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to.
So your question for me is what?
Well, I mean, is it that I won't have perfect peace until like we're
Well, only
done
God
with the
knows that,
baby
but
making?
you're on your way. What you're doing in those situations, Satan is talking to you really fast and you don't see him talking to you. Just become aware of what you're thinking and it'll work itself out. Because as soon as something happens, Satan is on it. He's trying to give you something to overreact to. You know what I'm saying? So just watch that. Don't worry about it. No big deal. All right? Yeah, just watch those thoughts and you'll be fine. Really, if you practice that, you'll see that right away Satan tell you everything. All right, so no big deal. All right.
Bub's Love in the
Bub's
house.
Love. Oh, you Bub's Love.
I'm Bub's Love, yeah.
You married to Bub's Love. I'm not going to ask you if you shave, Bub.
Thanks for that.
Because I don't want your wife to know. Right here. I'm glad you're here, both of you. Yeah, yes, sir.
I wanted to make a quick comment about the panel being boring and, you know, having betas on stage.
Yeah.
I actually used to watch Destiny, not regularly, but I'd stop in on his channel and see what he was talking about every once in a while because, you know, he's a smart guy and I want to hear how he's thinking through stuff. if for no other reason.
You think he's smart?
I do think he's smart.
You
yeah.
smoke pot?
No.
Oh. All right. He's nice, but.
Yeah, he's nice. He's nice.
Smart. No.
I think he's so. I believe he's smart because I understand where he's coming from.
Oh,
I used to be just like that.
Oh, I see.
And he was. It was recently, within the last year or so. I stopped into his channel and I saw him and he's playing a game. He's always playing video games. And I was watching him play this game and it was obvious that he was just totally miserable.
Yeah.
And I realized it's like, all right, he's completely miserable and he's maybe relaxing into it a little too much, but he's totally miserable. He's got a couple.
I can see that he's very unhappy.
Yeah, he's got a couple thousand people watching him who are also just totally into that, and I saw that I was participating in that entire time, and I noticed when he was on stage last night, he did not. I mean, he cracked a smile. He couldn't help it, but most of the time when somebody was talking, he just had this stern look on his face, like he hated life,
Yeah, he's unhappy.
Yeah, and so I compared him to when I started watching you. I said, all right, here's what I've been used to, and now here's you, and there's nothing but joy, when I watch your show, your radio show in the morning, and you don't have any ill will toward anybody.
No one.
And
that's what I want for everybody, because that's what God wants.
Right, and it's you could be however smart you are, however smart he is, or I think he is. What good is that when that's the reality that gets him is miserable, and you're speaking the exact opposite of everything that he believes or has figured out, and everybody around you who follows your message is so much happier.
Yeah.
So
that's why I want you to overcome the world.
Right.
Because the people of the world are not happy.
Yeah, that's one other thing that I think is so great about the fallen state. You have so many different people from walks of life that we take for granted as being, well, they're celebrities or they're smart, they're gurus, whatever, and they've got it figured out. But when you ask them the real questions, they're all suffering.
Yes.
And it makes you realize, okay, everything I thought I took for granted as being true, and all these smart people, figure it out. It's all wrong,
It is.
Because you don't question certain things until you see people on stage who all shave or whatever. So
that's why God said, think on these things. Don't think on those things that these people are into, right? You think on what we're talking about today. Examine yourself and know yourself so you can see what's really going on. Because once you get to know yourself, you're going to see what's happening in here. You're going to see this warfare between good and evil. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. It's what's happening inside. It's not out there, it's in here. And you really got to see it, and it's going to free you up. You're going to give up trying to fight it. You're going to stop judging yourself. You're just going to watch it and live your life. Because you're going to realize there's nothing you can do about it. Isn't that amazing? Yes, sir. I got to move just a little faster. James, you had something for me, and I think here, right? Yeah. You had your hand? Yeah. Oh, okay. Pastor Mike, did you have anything else? Okay. So are you you used to be a gamer?
Yeah.
How old were you when you stopped?
When I cut it off completely, it was about a year ago.
A year ago, how old were you then?
28.
You were playing games up until 28? Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I was also, I remember you talked to a guy.
I can't even imagine being a man and playing a game that old.
I wasn't doing it all day. I was doing it all day.
Doing it all day.
I did it all day when I was around 20. I was totally into it, but I started falling out of it as I got older.
Man.
And I noticed you were talking to this guy, he was a 13-year-old, I think, maybe 12, a few weeks ago. And
he called the show.
Yeah, he called the show, and he said he was into video games, and you told him to make video games.
Right.
And that's actually something that I got into, and I did that, and that was one thing that let me see that that's not what I wanted to be doing anymore.
See there?
And
yes, sir.
So that's
amazing.
Yeah, it's good
God
advice.
is good, man. That's cool. Yes, James. And then here.
Lots of super chats. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
ND Live, thanks for the shouting them out, Bugs Love.
D Live.
Daniel asks, what about a unibrow? Is it going against my natural self to shave my unibrow?
A what? When the hair goes crazy.
Yeah, when it connects.
I've always heard you crazy when you had that hair. But I don't know. I get that sometimes too.
Do you shave that part?
My barber cut it before I could tell him not to. But I don't know, but I always heard that people that had that hair all the way across are crazy. So I don't know. I have to let mine grow so I can find out. Do yours grow, James, all the way across?
I used to have to shave it. I don't have to anymore.
But why did you shave before? You thought you were
Because
crazy?
I didn't want a unibrow.
But what's wrong with it?
I was in high school. It doesn't look right. At least not in America.
Anybody ever had that? You let it grow all the way across? Oh, you did?
Never let it grow across, but yeah, if I'd let it go, it'd be.
It would be all the way across? And speaking to the mic, and why would you cut it?
Just because it looks more natural.
Oh, I see. Maybe. I don't know. You got me. Okay. Anybody else say? Okay, go ahead.
So something that I learned when I was doing the silent prayer.
What's your name?
James.
Where you
Nashville.
from, James?
Nashville.
Nashville.
Yep,
Amazing.
Yep. Something that I learned was you're not doing the silent prayer to ask forgiveness or to ask for things or to say thank you for things. You're doing it
That's
to put
right.
yourself in the right mindset to go through the day so you can present God's love to everyone else as you're going along. And
So
then you
you
do it
can let
before you
go.
go to sleep so that you sleep like a baby.
That's right. Amazing. You're right, man. You let it go. Or just let it be happen. Let God will be done. Absolutely, man. Tell them about how the tractor fell on your leg.
I started listening to the lie for a little bit. I was driving a little too fast.
What were you driving?
Forklift.
And what happened?
I took a tight turn and it was real dusty on that little strip in the back of our lot. It skid and then almost tipped over, but enough to throw me out. And then I tried to be the hero and stop it from driving to the neighbor's lot. And it extended my legs and then the back wheel ran me over.
Oh, amazing. Did it hurt?
Hell yeah.
Did you cry, Mama?
No, I couldn't cry at all. I just crawled.
So is it broken?
I broke the fibula.
And how are you doing now?
Surprisingly well. I didn't think I'd be walking.
So would you get on another forklift?
I got to go back to work soon.
Amazing. Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Anybody here did I overlook? Okay. Oh, right here, yes. And then I'll come to you after, right here. And then here, and then there. All right, folks, we got to move a little faster. But I'm okay because this is Father's Day weekend and everybody out of town and all that stuff. Yes, sir. What's your first name?
Vito.
And where you from?
I'm from Florida. Well, I'm driving from
Oh,
Florida
you're from
to
Florida.
Oregon.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
He's from Florida. You know him?
No, I did look back. No.
You don't live on that side of town, huh? No.
I'm originally from Portland. I was hoping you can give me some clarity. Sorry, I'm getting a cramp. Hoping you can give me some clarity on something I struggle with.
Okay.
So before I started doubting all my thoughts, I was big on analyzing them.
Yeah.
So I was constantly in my head, asking why I think this.
A little louder for me.
I was constantly in my head asking myself, why do I think this, or why is this way, and so forth.
Yeah.
And once I actually started doubting my thoughts, it brought me a good self-awareness
Yes.
to understand that the thoughts really are all lies, or they're all
Yes.
from the world. But now, and I have no problem dropping them, but I still have a problem where I constantly feel like I'm observing what's going on in my head, like self-conscious too often, constantly self-reflecting in my head. And sometimes there won't even be any thoughts to self-reflect on, but I'm constantly just checking, like, what's going on in my head.
Right.
And it's not really problematic, except it does pull me away from being in the present. And I was just wondering how to deal with it. Should I deal with it in the same manner that I would deal with a thought, in terms of as soon as I notice myself self-reflecting, drop it?
Yes.
And create a new habit that way?
Yeah, just drop it. When you find yourself trying to make yourself do it, just realize that's what you're doing, and don't make it a big deal. All right, just notice it, and it'll pass. It'll stop. But it's not. If you make it a big deal, then you're stuck for a while. But don't make it a big deal. You're doing fine.
Would that still be considered a thought, the self-reflecting manner of it?
Right.
It is
because
still
with those imaginations, when God said bring every thought into captivity, you're not supposed to have any relationship with them at all. Don't try to analyze them. It's enough to just see them, and whatever He wants you to know about it, it will be clear, right? So don't analyze them. Don't do anything. Just watch it.
But I feel like
You're
that,
just
that's how I
observing.
notice them, I feel, is by observing.
By what?
By observing.
By
That's
just
how,
noticing the thoughts.
yeah, that's how I notice them, and then I'm able to drop them. But I have too much of a habit of constantly observing, like double checking what's going on in my head, type of thing.
Meaning, when you say double checking, what do you mean? Are you checking them right now?
No. Now I was trying to put it into words. Sort of, you know how when you do the silent prayer?
Yeah.
You're observing as the thoughts pop up and you drop them. Well, at least that's how I put it into words. I drop the thought because I notice it pop up trying to convince me to think of something, you know?
Right.
But that's me observing my thoughts.
When it pops up and try to make you think of something?
Yeah, as it pops up, the only way I notice it is from self-observing.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have noticed it. It would have probably grabbed my attention.
And when you say self-observance, what do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Self-reflecting, being self-conscious.
Well, I don't quite know what you mean because white people are so intellectual. Too much for Joel and me.
It's like watching yourself.
We could never have you on the show.
It's like watching yourself.
No, listen. So just, just live your life, and if you start feeling anxiety or you're thinking about something, whatever, just realize that it'll pass. I don't know what you mean by, in all honesty, I don't know what you're asking, but don't put your will into it. Don't you try to make anything happen.
Right. No, I understand that.
Don't try to make yourself see, because only God can allow you to see. You can't see yourself. Because a lot of people force themselves to see those thoughts, and they still messed up because they are still taking control, trying to make themselves see. And so if you don't see a thought and you start feeling weird or happy or sad or whatever, just realize you're in your head.
And that's probably exactly what it is me trying to see
Yeah.
the thought.
Yeah, don't try to see because you cannot make yourself see. Of ourselves, we can do nothing, and of ourselves, we know nothing. So don't try to make yourself see. All right? Are you doing the silent prayer?
I do, yeah.
Do you smoke pot?
No, I used to. I quit in November, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be fine. Just don't try to make yourself see. You'll know, now that you're aware, you'll know who you lost in your head. And when you see it, when you realize that, just relax.
Right.
All right? Don't make a big deal at all.
Thanks.
Okay. Good, man. Yes, sir. Then we got to end, y'all.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing?
All is well. Welcome from Arizona.
Esteban from Arizona.
Yeah.
I brought my two boys here. My brother and his son came in the back. We all attended last night.
Oh, yeah.
So
The boy's getting big, man.
Yeah, they're taller than me. I'm shrinking, or they're getting big.
I know.
One of them.
Yeah.
But I was listening to what you were saying, and I kind of relate what you're saying too. And I don't know if I, say it different, but I'll feel like I got it, or like I have no thoughts going on, and I'm just going through my day, and then like I think what you're saying is I'll go and I'll check, and I think what I'm doing is checking to see if I'm aware or if I'm in the moment, and I'm back in my thoughts.
Yeah.
Instead of just not
Just
checking,
live.
just being,
Yeah.
and going through the day.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're saying. I'm not sure, but that's kind of what I do. Yeah. Well, when you
Don't be
constantly
checking. Yeah.
well, what I've seen is
White
when I
people
constantly
always
check
checking.
it, I'm thinking. Yeah, if you're
What's
checking,
wrong
you're
with
thinking.
y'all?
Yeah.
Are you married? No. Instead of checking, you need to get married, have some white babies. No, I'm kidding. He's busy checking thoughts. No, I'm messing with you.
But no, I just wanted to say hi and just say I found you a couple years ago, and just to let everyone here know, especially the guy in the end here, I really related to what he was saying, and I kind of wanted to just give him some encouragement. I'm 41 years old. I was a huge beta. I have 4 boys, all under the age of 15. My wife ran the house, did all that stuff, and I finally woke up, went and forgave, And once I forgave, I just want to just let you know, from me to you, is that everything that Jesse told me, every single thing he's told me, is coming true, one by one by one by one, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm not saying I got perfect peace, but I can definitely see what's going on, and I can see it coming from a mile away. But I just wanted to tell you that, man, because from me to you, you go and you forgive. It's amazing because the things that have fallen away, I put no effort into. And I remember Jesse was telling me about how sex clouds the mind, and he told me, you just got to stop. And I pretty much told him, like, that's craziness, dude. I'll listen to everything else you're saying, but that is just that's just back there, And what was amazing about it was after I forgave, that was the first thing that God dealt with me with. He showed me exactly what I was doing, exactly what I was doing to my wife, exactly how it was affecting our relationship.
Yeah.
And one thing Jesse told me in counseling one time, he said, "Don't you want to love your wife in the right way?" And I never forgot that because I did not understand what he meant. But now I truly understand what he means, because she has to need me, not I need her. That's the way it's set up, and that's how it's changed. And
now your wife called the show.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. She's called a couple times.
When men change, the wife will change too.
Yeah,
Because the light is on and they can see the right way to go now. And women love men who love what's right.
Yeah. And
They
even
really
if she
do.
acts like she's not going to, she still will.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell her, no, I don't want.
Yeah, it might take 50 years and then you die. No.
Hopefully not, but yeah. But even if I tell her something, she'll fight me on it, and I'll say no, and then she'll do what I ask. But
Yeah.
but I just want to just give people here encouragement, because I used to think in terms of like how much time, what I need to do, and that's just gone out the window. I just understand that I'm supposed to observe, the thoughts as they come, whatever happens. Even if I engage in what the thought has told me, I still just observe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really want to thank. Last night I talked to my friend Martin here, the Bible go-to guy, and he put some insight on that for me. That
I bet he did.
Yeah, that I hadn't seen. And it's just like that, guys. It's we all have to put down the shame that we felt and let everyone know what we've been going through and how it can change, because if it's not out there, no one's going to do it. In my family, people are turning on me and telling me I'm Satan and stuff, and it's all good. I mean, it's all good because everyone has the right to suffer, just like I had the right to suffer. I did all my
I hate to
things.
cut you off, but and they let me know I'm out
No,
of time.
of course. I just want to encourage everyone to go and forgive, because it's no joke.
So let me talk to your brother just 1 minute. I need to ask him a question. So are you the one that lost your son?
No, that's my twin brother, Michael.
Oh, Mike, how's he doing?
He's doing okay. I see him maybe once a month or so. He's working a lot and just doing that.
Okay.
You can kind of see where he's a little bit weathered about it. It's been was it last October?
Yeah.
That it passed. So.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. Last one. Did you have your hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I need a mic though.
Yeah, we need to have you on mic.
I watched some of your shows about the racism thing,
Yes.
and I believe that what you say about racism is true. About like you don't see color because it's just an illusion and everything like that.
I see color.
Huh?
I see color, but
No,
I
you see
just
color,
don't-
but racism is not true because
Right, yeah.
spiritually everybody's just one.
Right.
What do I tell somebody who actually does like hate somebody because of their skin color? Like, wouldn't they be considered racist because they actually hate somebody because of their skin color?
Well,
or is it just hatred?
You're
or
not going to
anger?
find anyone that just hates someone just because of their skin color. They have judged that person for whatever reason, and so they're hating for a reason. Let's say that the blacks hate the whites, right? They have been told that the white man is something. He's your problem, he's your slave, or something, and they believe that about them. And so when they run into white people, automatically they're going to have that reaction. But it's not like the white person that they hate just to be hating a color. You don't hate a color. It's something you judged about that color.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning. And if you tell them that, they don't want to listen, let them suffer. Don't try to convince them. You just point it out, and it's up to them to receive it. Otherwise, let them go suffer and die.
True.
You cannot ever, never, never convince anyone of anything.
Right.
Don't even try. Even God don't try to convince you. He just shows you, and if you accept it, you're free. And if not, you suffer. And here Jesus just sit up there and turn on the big screen and watch us make a fool out of ourselves.
And for a person like,
mocha.
for my brother who has been like, mistreated by like cops, he'll be basically judging that cop from what he's doing.
And he'll judge all cops from what one cop
And he
did.
judged all cops from one, yeah.
Absolutely. And this your brother?
Yeah.
Your real brother?
Yeah, real
Is he older or younger?
Younger.
Yeah. Just let him suffer, but you be an example of what he should become. And you warn him. If he doesn't take their advice, let him go suffer. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good, man. The one thing that I hope that you picked up today is that God is real, very basic and simple. It's not what you've been taught. It's not about you trying to figure it out, or it's not complicated at all. And the only thing that's got you locked away from him is that you refuse to admit that you are not God. Really. Because every person with anger is playing God, whether you know it or not. And in that anger, you're judging, you're making decisions, you're hating, you're really playing God. As long as you play God, you will never know God. You know about him, but you won't know him. But the moment you can see that it's wrong to be angry because you're playing God, in that very moment you're free. He'll draw you back in because there's not but one God and he's the only one, right? So he'll draw you back in, and then life is simple again, as it was when you were a child. That's why he said we must become like little children again, meaning that we speak up but don't resent. Nothing is that important. Nothing should be making you all angry and have fear and afraid to lose and all that, right? Little kids don't care about all that until they're brainwashed or something, traumatized. And that's how you're going to become once you return to the Father. You're going to be like a little kid. It's not going to be that important. You can make jokes and all kind of stuff. Last night, Owen Benjamin, he used the N-word. And right away, I looked at Hermes. And I'm like, oh my God. But it was nothing. It was a joke. He used he mentioned the Jews. I think he called them little hats or something. But it was just a funny joke. And now that I've heard him speak, the world taking the stuff that he's speaking about and turning it into like there's something wrong with it. And they're doing that to divide and conquer. And he made the point, not all Jews get mad at him for making Jew jokes. And so like comedians are not even allowed anymore to talk about people, point them out, right? They'll call it racist. If white people make jokes about black people, it's racist. And so he made a very fine point, is that when you believe in God, the world way is not important to you anymore. You're not taking everything and turning it into something else. You can laugh it off. It's no big deal. It's not personal. And so that's when you're on your way to becoming. So be patient with yourself. All right? Just be patient. But stay with the silent prayer. Even if you have to smoke your pot for a while, do the prayer, then hit your pot. And so God can help you overcome Satan's idea or suggestions to smoking it. It'll change. Don't make that a big deal. Nothing is a big deal. Only Satan wants you to think it is. That make sense? Totally. There's not one thing a big deal. Nothing on earth is a big deal. And that's why you have to forgive your parents, because you start out with them first. And they're the one that traumatized you. That's what it means to be born in hell, born in sin. You're born to crazy, messed up parents. And so when you forgive them, you're on your way. You can deal with anything else that comes your way. All right. I'm really glad that all you guys showed up for last night's event. It was mind-blowing. It was the best one we ever had. All of them have been good, but each one get better and better. And I think next year we just have to add more time to it. More, I don't know, more hours or maybe 2 days or something, so we can really deal with everything in a slower fashion, like rather than rushing through it. And the ladies, once again, you guys were amazing. Thank you so much. I walked into the green room, but I've gone into many green rooms over the years. So for those who don't know, a green room is when you go to like a TV station or something to do a show. They have a little room that you wait in and they put vegetables or fruits and drinks and things in there. Well, tell me your first name. Haiti did the green room up last night. It was like better than Fox. I walked in there, I'm like, wow. I was not expecting that. You did an excellent job. So thank you for that. And even Black Victoria went up on the stage. And it was so nice, Victoria, the way you presented that. Because there are two Victorias. We have a white one and a black one. Were you surprised at how well you presented that during the auction?
Yes.
You were surprised?
Oh, yes.
You were surprised?
I was.
Yeah. Just stay out of your head. Life is amazing. So thank you all for what you did last night, ladies.
Welcome.
It was amazing. I got to make it clear, not that Ermin hate the black. I've never seen a white man talk about the black folks in front of Ermins. Ermins, well, what did you think when you said the N-word last night?
I mean, it kind of surprised me a little bit, but I know he's
I look right at Ermins like,
I know he's a comedian, so I'm not. I know how he is. So.
And what did you think when he said about the Jews and the little hats?
I expected that. That's part of his routine, yeah.
I thought you were about to say, you better sit down. Did you want
you to see what you were saying?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I didn't think much of it.
I was like cracking up, but I had to look at Ermin first before I could laugh. But it was an amazing time, and I gotta think, Ermin is my PR guy. He put that together, folks. He made the whole event happen. Yeah. And all of the volunteers and the people who set up all the lights and all that kind of stuff, it was absolutely amazing. It takes a lot of work to put an event together. And all the volunteers, Ermin put them all together. I was a little surprised how well it was done, how things were really organized, especially for a big event like that.
Thank Tracy for the. She donated all the raffle items. Tracy.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Tracy, yeah. Thank you, Tracy. That was amazing. Yeah. What is her name online? Does she have a different name?
Moxie Girl. I don't know if she's still online.
Moxie Girl is the Tracy one. Tracy Moxie put that together.
And then Victoria did the centerpieces, the candles with the eucalyptus and all that. That was really nice.
That was the white one or the black one?
Latina.
Oh, all the work. You know, like when you point out one on one, they're all perfect. So thank you all so much. Yeah, and the volunteers, all you guys and everybody, thank you so much for making. And all you who came out of town and even in LA that showed up last night, thank you guys. I hope it helped a little bit. All right? I got to do just 2 things, and then we're going to do the offering. So get your money ready. Ain't nothing free. Is this your first time here, the young lady? Yeah. This is your first time? How old are you? How much? 7? Oh, 11. Why are you speaking so soft? Does she speak English?
He wants to know why you're speaking so soft. She doesn't.
She does what?
She doesn't know.
Oh, okay. All right, I won't mess with her then. She's too young. How about the young lady in the back? This your first time here?
Sort of. I visited once last year.
Uh-huh.
Oh, thank you.
Sort of. You visited once?
I stopped by last year to look into interning here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I've been watching the show more and enjoying it, and my sister recommended it. And
okay. Did you go and forgive your mother?
You know, I had forgiven my mother, and it was really difficult, but I'm working on forgiving my father.
And what do you mean working on it?
Well, I think that I've forgiven him, and then things will come up, and I'll...
Have you gone to him and forgiven him?
I'm not really speaking with him, and I have
Well, how
written
you
him
gonna forgive him
letters.
then?
I've written him letters to forgive him, but
Beta! A beta female. That's not the way to do it. You got to go to him. You can't prepare to go to him. You can't think about going. You have to go do it. God said when you resent someone, you have aught against anyone, go to them and forgive them.
physically?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd go, he lives out of state, but I guess I could.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go and forgive him. Don't write letters. That's beta.
Yeah.
Are you a
It is.
beta female?
I hope not. Maybe.
Well, go to your father and forgive him, all right?
Okay.
What do you resent him for?
Well, he wasn't really present growing up. It's a whole long story, but
Well, let me just ask, what did he do to you?
it's a bit complicated, but just not being there and then just being, I don't know, kind of a jerk or I don't know, just.
What did he do to you?
He was very, I'm trying to think of how to say it. He would say really mean, cutting things a lot.
To whom?
To me, when I met him.
When you met him?
Or
were
what-
you mean to him the way your mother is?
No, I don't think so. Maybe in a sense afterwards.
Were you mean to him the way your mother is? That means yes. Were you mean to him the way your mother is?
Yes.
See there? And he didn't do anything to you. But yet you were mean to him, just like your mother. That's why he treated you that way.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that?
I can see that. Yeah.
So you owe him an apology, if anything,
Yeah.
because you identify with your mother. Now you treat your father the same way your mother did, as though he did something to you.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that really?
Yeah.
Why hadn't you seen that before now? Because why do you think, you know what, my father really didn't do anything to me. I was mean to him the way my mother was.
Well, I guess because he did do a lot of mean things or wasn't there.
To you.
Yeah.
What do you do to so far, you didn't tell me you doing it to him. He didn't do anything to you.
Well,
he
he did-
overreacted to you.
He did some things. Like
what?
Well, he was just really, and this might seem because I'm not at all into the Me Too thing or anything like that, but
The Me Too thing?
the Me Too movement. I'm not into that, but this was
Are
way
you into it
before.
a little bit?
No, not
Oh,
at all.
okay.
Yeah, no. But he was I met him as a teenager and he would joke about my body and like smack me and it just seemed inappropriate. And so I started telling him that. And so I think that turned into a weird
Well, go
dynamic.
and tell him you're sorry for doing that you identify with your mother.
Yeah.
And you treated him that way, and he was weak for overreacting, but that's what happened.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
apologize in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are you dating?
Not really. No.
Are you dating?
No.
You don't have a boyfriend?
No.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
He ran away?
No, I did.
You ran away. You ran away?
Not necessarily. Just I've been busy and haven't been meeting people. It seems like a lot of things are online, and I don't even know where to really socialize or meet people anymore.
Oh, good. Yeah, don't worry about that now. Work on seek first the kingdom of God. It'll work out.
Okay.
Go and forgive your father, all right?
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Absolutely. So I am out of time. What's the announcement, Ernest?
Women's Forum this Thursday.
Oh, good. Women's Forum this Thursday. Every third Thursday night is for ladies only, and the first Thursday night for men only. Sunday morning for everybody. So we're having a meeting this Thursday, ladies. All right? 7 p.m. Anything else? Okay. Victoria, did you start your business yet?
Start my business?
Uh-huh.
I'm still in the paperwork phases.
So it's still too early to announce it?
Yeah, I can't legally do my stuff yet.
Oh, okay. You black, you can break the law. Black people can break the law and cry racism.
I was trying to, but I decided that's probably not the best way to go.
Oh. All right, let me know when you're ready, all right? So one last thing, did you forgive your mother acting right with you now? Real fast, just right here.
Yeah, so I forgave her and my father. When was that? Probably January of this year, something like that. Yeah, so I mean, she still has moments where she is emotional, but now I just deal with it.
Do you
know.
tell her how the cow ate the cabbage?
I do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, always, and
Yeah.
the reason for that, always speak up, just don't hate.
Right.
Because you'll fall back into it if you don't deal with it properly.
Right.
Show love.
Yeah.
You doing the silent prayer?
Every morning and night.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How about you, the father?
I'm not consistent with it.
Suffer.
I know.
Well, your mother's beating your father up, that's why. Why don't you do the prayer?
I do it, but it usually takes me like 6 months before something will become routine. So.
Really?
Yeah.
You smoke pot?
No.
You smoke pot? Oh, no. Okay. Well, do the prayer, man.
Yes.
Go back to it.
I will.
You guys are really on your way.
Yeah.
So don't stop.
Okay.
And your wife is too.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Don't forget we need your support, folks. Don't forget to go to rebuildingtheman.com, make a donation. We got a lot of stuff to do. The attack is on. They demonetized my website thing there, but that's okay. We're going to fight evil with good this time. All right. So, and for all those who came to the event, the 10th annual men's conference last night, it was amazing. Thank you for showing up and supporting. All right. If you need counseling, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven. You can go online and, or if you're in LA, come on down, make an appointment and come down, all right? Thank you for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it. And thank you all for coming. And it was a good church today. Thank you so much for it.